Good morning. So, I have another short story for you today. So, a man comes home from work, and his 5-year-old son comes running up to him and gives him a big hug and a kiss, and he says, Daddy, Daddy, how much do you make per hour? And the father looks at him, he says, $20, but why would you ask me such a question? And the boy says, Well, can I borrow $10? And the father says, Absolutely not. First of all, you should never ask me what I make per hour, and second of all, just ask me to borrow money. That's the reason you wanted to know. Get upstairs and go to sleep. So the boy goes upstairs and goes to sleep. And the father thinks about his actions for a second, and he says, maybe I was a little hard on him. He never really asked me to borrow money. So he goes up and knocks on the door, and he says, Son, are you awake? And the son says, Yeah, Dad, I'm awake. So he goes in, and he says, Listen, I'm really sorry about, getting angry with you, but it's just you don't ask your parents how much they make and then ask to borrow money when they tell you. It just seems very inappropriate and just not right. And the boy says, I'm sorry, Dad. But the father reaches into his pocket anyway, and he says, Well, I'm going to give you that $10 because you don't really ask for money anyway. So here you go. So the boy takes it, says thank you, and then he reaches under his pillow and he pulls out another 10 and he gives it to his father and he says, Dad, this is for you. Can I buy an hour of your time? What does that speak to? So I'm a parent. My kids are older, but so many of us spend so much time trying to raise our family, take care of our kids, activities, dinner, pay the bills, everything that just goes along with being a parent and, being a working parent. And sometimes we get so caught up in what's going on that we lose sight of what's important. And so many times our kids need us, and we're not there for them because we're just so busy or so overwhelmed with something else. Perfect example. How many of us sit at the dinner table and we're all on the phone? Your parents are checking their texts, so your kids are checking their texts. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? If the parents are behaving that way, of course, we're modeling that behavior for our kids, so they're going to do the same thing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've sat at my dinner table and I'm like, can everybody just put their phone down? Like, we're having dinner as a family. Let's actually have a conversation, right? But that happens everywhere. Or we just get so busy and overwhelmed with work and stress that when they do ask us something, we're like, not now, not now. I can't talk to you now. But sometimes we don't realize what they have to say at that moment might be really important. So I'm not saying we're supposed to drop everything all the time. Sometimes scenarios are what they are and we can't just stop what we're doing. But many times we're just not being present with our kids. We're not giving them the full attention they deserve, and we're just not being present with them. And it's just so important that we're present with our children. So think about this. I posted an article the other day about failure and not enabling our kids, and I truly believe that we can't let our kids always succeed. We can't always try to defend them or keep them from failing. It's so important for them to fail so they can grow from it. But we need to have these conversations. We need to be able to have the time to really know what's going on in their lives, so we know that they're struggling with something. If we're going to be so busy and overwhelmed and not give them the time of day, we don't really know what's going on in their lives, and they're going to look elsewhere for that support. And if that support isn't the kind of support that's healthy for them, that leads to other bad things, right? So just be present with your kids. I know it's hard sometimes, but really, really take the time to hear them when they come to you. And when they do fail, just be there to pick them up and teach them a better way and let them learn and let them grow from that experience so they become stronger and better for it and more confident. But most important, find the time for them. They shouldn't have to buy your time. It should be there for them anytime they need it. Have an awesome day.